Hi, good morning, everyone. Kind of a strange morning. Solely because of the fact that the market's down, but I don't think it goes anywhere down. And I don't even know why it's down, and not that I care, but it's a strange morning because of that. So I think we just ignore the market today, let it do its thing, whatever it's going to be, and focus on the specifics today. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Jackie's saying bond rates. I've continued to say that's ridiculous, and I'm going to stick to it. So, anyways, long story short, this isn't great. I mean, it's just not. And it's worth watching, but it is not great. Of course, I said that about Oracle, and it went, you know. So, the reality is that I don't know what we're doing today. One, we might do nothing. Two, if Ulta sets up, we're going to do it. Again, it's a short, but it's very spready, and it's not great. And the market is a 50-50 here, meaning the market could rally, the market could drop. I'm not going to worry about it. We're still going to continue higher, but the market's very sloppy, and you can see that here for the volatility today. After we ran up, made new highs yesterday in the SPY, of course, you have the Qs down, Apple down, but ultimately the market's extremely strong, and so, don't expect the market to fall off the planet today. But whether or not it rallies, I can't worry about that right now. I almost think the best thing to do is to watch Oracle, but the problem is it did have a bigger move than expected yesterday. So, could this continue today? Maybe. This really isn't the type of play that we do. Low volume here, but could come into the open. So, I don't know if I'm doing anything. We've had a good week. It was a very good week. I don't want to mess up my week on a Friday when there's not much to look at that's quality. There's a lot to look at, but it's not quality. So, Ulta I'm not crazy about, but I'll watch it. Oracle, maybe. And pretty much that's it. No on Apple. Let's hang on one second here. So, no one should be leaning into their keyboards here because we don't know what we're doing here today. Look at this, how spreading that is. This just has to situate itself. That's way too spready. I'm trying to find something to do, but I don't know if I'm going to. So I'm just letting you know. And Ultra looked a heck of a lot better last night than it does this morning. Actually looked a lot better at 7 a.m. than it did right now. So, that's the situation. Posh doesn't have any data. I'm not doing that. This is just ridiculous here. Just gotta wait on that. So let's watch this little baby Oracle. this is going to go. Yeah, it's going. I couldn't make up my mind, and that's already going. And I was thinking about doing this, and I thought about doing it 1 minute too long. This is going, so Goldman actually set up and is going, and I thought too hard about it. It's already going. Target 350. And I really wasn't planning on doing this, to be honest with you, which is why I had to think about it. By the time I thought about it, it's already going. So I can go back and see if we can get a setup in this, but this is the only thing really that's set up right here. But 350 is the target, and it's almost there. Still watching this. This is one of the sloppiest markets I've ever seen. And simply because both the indices are not going the same way. It's just extremely sloppy. I just don't like anything today. Wish I did. Wish I did. So at this point here, I'm not at anything, and I may not be doing anything because I really can't get behind anything here today. And it's not because of the market, even though it's really not helping my decision. It's because I really don't like anything. Sometimes that's what it is. So I'll sit here a little bit and watch Goldman to see if we can get a long setup in this, but we really missed the entry in this. If I'd initially liked this in the pre-market, we would have got in this aggressively, but I did not. I like some other things, sort of, but they didn't set up right. I may not be doing anything today. And this I just could never get excited about and still don't like it enough here. Oracle. I don't think I'm doing anything today. So, you're here for my professional advice. There's nothing good to do. But you can ask me any questions. We can go over anything. I'm not going to get trapped and sucked into something shitty on a Friday and ruin my week. We had a good day yesterday. We had a huge week for the options. Everyone should have got out of all the calls that expired yesterday, I would think. Ask me any questions. I don't think I'm doing any trades today. We could have done this, and if we had, I probably would have been out of it. And I don't know if I want to do this now, because if the market's red, Goldman isn't going to hang on. And as of right now, the SPY is dropping. I can't get behind shorting this. I still think the market is higher. It's falling because of Apple and the Qs, and the Qs are only falling because of Apple. But I really think the Apple doesn't have farther down to go, and I think it's going to flip at some point, whether it's today, whether it's Monday, whether it's next week. I just don't know. Oracle, we could have done as a continuation. Maybe it's just spent. Did gap down, but maybe it's just done. And Ulta, I didn't like for a lot of reasons. This did set up, but I didn't want to do it. Stop's too big, spread's too big, no risk to reward unless it goes to 300, and I don't see that happening. Posh doesn't have enough data. Docu, I don't think does either, but I'll look at it. What else was I going to look at? Nothing, that's it. Any questions from anyone? I don't think I'm doing any trades today. It's only 8 minutes into the open, but I don't like anything. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Just wasn't there. Really wasn't there in the pre-market. This is already going. I didn't look at it. I didn't rate it. This isn't anything either. It's probably down with the market. It's already going, and I didn't look at it, and I didn't rate it. And if you're in it, Jackie, then I would get out of it soon. If you have no sound, contact Kathy. I'm not going to just do this on the fly. This was earnings. I'll look at it. I don't think it was. I thought it was earlier in the week. So let me look. Not that I'm doing this, because I'm not. It wasn't this morning. Was it last night? It was last night. It did have earnings. It was last night. No, I didn't see this and I didn't rate it. And I'm not going to just jump on board this now. And I'm certainly not going to do it without rating it. So. I didn't see you write this in the pre-market, Jackie. Did you write it in the pre-market? If I had had time to look at this seriously before 9:30, I would have rated it, maybe. But I didn't see you write it in before 9:30, and I'm not just going to jump on board here now. I also don't think this is great either, even though it did have a setup. But, you know, it's too late now to do it. Goldman's going to 350. Yeah. If I had been prepared to go long today, which I was not, I wanted to watch Alta, didn't set up right, we could have done this. I thought about it for 60 seconds too late. I thought about hitting it at 346 or 347. If I had done it, we would have been up and we would have been out. But I thought about it too hard. And probably because I just couldn't get behind going long today, knowing there's a possibility that the market could drag down, which it is. But this is going, which just goes to show you how strong the banks are and why I don't think there will be any follow through to the downside with this market. We could sell off into 12 o'clock Eastern time. We could sell off into 11. We could sell off all day and then flip around next week. But the financials are one of the reasons why I've been very bullish on the market. You see this here. The only reason the market's dragged down at all is because of Apple and because of the Qs and because Apple's too heavily weighted in the Qs, and I've been talking about that for the last 2 weeks. But we didn't do this. We missed it. I thought about it too long, but I think it's okay to be careful. The only way this goes and crashes today and goes down to yesterday's lows with the market. And I just don't know if the market's going to keep going. You know, at this moment, it's trying to go green, Jackie. I know it's hard when you desperately want to trade and you desperately want to do something, but feeling like desperation is not a good place and a good mindset to be in. No one should be in desperation, because if you followed me this week, you are up money. So there's no reason to be desperate. If you did all the options this week, you're up money. So again, no reason to be desperate. So there's no reason anyone should feel desperation today or desperate at all. If we don't trade, you're not going to die. You'll get up Monday and we'll do something else. While I looked at Alta, it was very, very, very spready. And I didn't do it. And I don't regret not doing this. I really, really don't. It would have been a $6 stop. possibly more. I just didn't see the risk to reward here. And if I thought this was going to 290 or anywhere down to 300 or below 300 or anywhere crazy, I might have done it with a $6 stop. I just don't really know if that's going to occur. And I didn't call any options in this for that reason as well. Well, it's true. It's even if you have a lost day, you're not going to die. And some people feel like that, but that's not the reality. I don't know. This does look good. This could go $1. By the time I'm making my mind on this, it's gonna go to 67.90. We could do it with a stop there. Let's just watch it a little. We can do 90 by 90 Oracle. 90 by 90 Oracle. See if we can get it down to 66 or 66.50. Here, you can do it right here. Put the stop at 90. It's tight. 67.90. This is it. You know what? I'm just going to scalp this. If it goes to 66.50, I'm out. I really didn't like anything today. Here, 66.50. I don't even know if it gets to 66. And you can still do it here. It's not far off the number. But you got to put the stop at the right place. I wish we had done Goldman. This went right up to the target. I mean, well, look at the strength. It went right up to the target. Boom. But I really wasn't looking at that this morning at all. And Jackie's docu, I didn't look at either. I'm not sure if I would have done it. I didn't rate it. Alta was kind of a bust for me. It looked a lot better last night. It even looked good this morning. It was weird. It was strange. It was spready. This did work, though. If you took a chance on it and went, it worked. So let's see what happens with this. We're going to scalp this down. 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, whatever we can get. Nothing was good this morning. Absolutely nothing at all. I was prepared not to trade. This is going. You could still do it here if you want. The stop has to be where I said, 67.90. It cannot be tight. And we're looking for a baby move in it, 9.45. This could be on its own without the market. It's a lot better, though, if the market drags down. I think the market's very sloppy. It gapped down this morning in a normal gap that you would think that maybe you would short, except for the fact that I don't think we sell off like hotcakes. The reason for the gap down made no sense. Again, it's rates. People are sick and tired of that reason. I could never get behind it. The reaction really makes no sense to me. But sometimes the market doesn't make sense. And the fundamentals don't match up with the technicals. But the technicals say that the market is strong. We made new highs yesterday. Goldman is making new highs right now. So, you know, when you look at that, you say, what's going on? Well, it's Q's and it's Apple. But I think Apple's pretty much done selling off. You could do this if you want. We're scalping it. Kind of upset about Ulta because we've got so many nice plays in that in the past. We've done so many good options. We've done so many beautiful trades in that, and it really was a bust. It would have been better if it had gapped at. It really would have. I mean, I looked at that hard, you know, before the earnings yesterday. And then when it gapped down, I thought, okay, but it really should have kept going. Instead, it lifted. It would have been a lot better if it had opened way down. Well, it would have been better if it had gapped up, but it didn't. So be in this if you want it. It's a snail. It was kind of a snail the other day. Let's look at Stitch Fix. But I hope that we get something in that by 10:15. I want to be done early today. This never went anywhere. Look at that. I'm glad I didn't call an option in this. We would have been just annoyed with it, quite frankly. Because if I had done an option in it, I don't think I would have got out of it the first day. And it's not going anywhere, and it refuses to go anywhere. And we're lucky that we made money in it the days that we did. This refuses to go down. It will not go down. It's crazy. Kish, you're doing the class this weekend? You should still be up for the week. Even though you did that other thing the other day that I didn't do, I forget what it was. But make sure you're stopping, because the other day I don't think you did. This is going to be a snail. Let me see if there's any more data this morning. This is going to be a super snail, which I hope I don't regret doing a snail on a Friday, but said it was there. Whereas Oracle was just, Ulta was just wacko. Let's look at SWK. Wendy's. There's no volume in this either. Gosh, these things are thin. So again, this may set up again. Since I decided to do Oracle, I'm not going to do it. I missed it. I could have taken it. I was sitting here watching it, and I just couldn't make up my mind. But anyways, this could set up again. I'm going to pass. It's a long, and it got to the target. That was probably the best thing to do today. We're in this. I'm going to scalp it. We'll see where it goes. It's pushing back a little bit. You could do it here. Stop still has to be the same place. One more drop off. See where it comes and where it goes. I think the low was 83. 81. This is better than nothing, even if we only make 30, 40 cents. There's the market trying to flip around. Just completely insane. Again, it just goes back to what I said 2 days ago or 3 days ago or whatever we were talking about it. If you don't have conviction in what you're doing, if you flip-flop all around, kill trades, take trades, flip them around, you're screwed. This market, you really got to know what you're doing. Why do you think it's so choppy? Because people are doing different things every single second and every single day, and they don't know what they're doing. And so that's one of the reasons what's adding to the chop. But Apple being heavily weighted in the Qs, having sold off, and the Qs affecting that and dragging down the other indices is really what's creating this, because otherwise you'd have this buy at new highs today. With Goldman Sachs at brand new highs at 350, if you wouldn't have Apple and the Qs, you would have everything up today, lifting and making new highs again. So I fully blame that stock, but I really do think today will probably be the end of the selling in that for a little bit. So I have no expectations for this to go big, just so you know. It's just money wherever we can get it. Again, this could set up again. Here it goes. We could have gotten this at a better price too, but I don't want to be aggressive today. I mean, obviously. And I would have been fine doing nothing, but this is going. So let's just see where this goes. Sometimes snails are good. Sometimes snails pay us. Here's the market. Lo and behold, we are not falling. I mean, can you believe how sloppy this is? I can. Here we go. Oracle under 81, and then we'll see where it drops, and hopefully we can get out of this quickly. I am not holding it down to yesterday's low. I don't think it goes to yesterday's low. I would be shocked if it goes to yesterday's low. The market is lifting now. The market is going green. This is a market stock. Be careful. I said we're scalping it. We didn't have to do anything. We're upping it. Don't let this get against you. If you want to be super duper tight, you could just put this top at break even. Here. I mean, this is it. Market's green. Hand to the button here with this. Come on. If we can get it down to 66.50, I'll take it. I'll take it. Here. I was prepared to do nothing. Here goes. But we have to get down to 60, and then we have to break 60. 66. 66. 954. No more important data out. 65. Here we go. Oracle. Nice little baby one to end the week. The biggest trade this week, though, was Facebook, was the options in Facebook. Jackie, you held the 262.50s. We have to go over that when we're done. I got out of those 262.50s last Friday. The other ones I was in, but the best one was that one. Did you hold that all week? 55. 55. You could get out of this here. Crap. Is this it? 954. 954. We'll go over Facebook when we're done. Oh, crap. Come on. 55. 55. Darn it. Come on. Did anyone get out of it there? It got down to 55. I didn't exit it. Hope I don't regret that. I said I was going to scalp it, but it looked like it was going to break 55. Let's see what's happening here. Galahad got out. Shower Singer got out. Oh, that's interesting. There's Goldman. This did set up again. This did set up. And again, I said I'm not going to do that since I'm doing the Oracle. But I knew it would set up again. Wow, it could even continue. Okay, everybody get out but me. All right. No, I wasn't being picky. I said I would scalp it. But you see, it's so... I'm not normally a scalper. Here, we're going to be okay. It's going to get this down a little bit more, and then we really will get out of this. Galahad, I'm glad to see you're back trading. You have to get back in the room. Oh, Jackie's still in Oracle. Jackie's still in Oracle. We will go over Facebook, but I just want to make sure we're out of this first, and then we'll go over it. What happened to Ulta? That's probably it for that, but it did move. Now, Apple's not green. Again, this is a monster. If this doesn't go green, the market won't hold on either. So I don't know. At least today. I'm not talking about into next week. I'm just talking about today. let's talk about Facebook now. Just give this a chance. I think we're fine with it. It's wink. Anyways, everyone should have got out of the Facebook calls because why? They all expired today, and the move was there, and you were destroyed in this if you held it through the last day, but no one should ever hold anything through the last day. It could have got to 280. It did not. And then Jackie said, well, do you want to call another one? And I said, no, this trade is done, meaning the trades you have on, you manage them accordingly, and that's it. We don't retake it. The move was the breakout. The move was the buying, the momentum. We were in these super duper early, and they were tragically down at one point, and which is one of the reasons why I say stick to your guns. Risk no more than you can afford to lose, so you can hold stuff. Or if you kill it in half, you take the loss, and then you can get back in it. But the reality is, if you lose conviction, then you won't probably get back in it. And very often what happens is if you're down in something, you're usually down in it between the day and the next night, so then you really never get out of it right anyways. I was having this lecture with Zen Trader yesterday. That's one of the reasons I think it's a lot easier to manage trades. You hold them or you get out of them, because look at this here. I mean, at one point here, this was all the way tragically down. People shorted it. I mean, you can tell that they did. The bar here is not small. It's $10, but that was the day the market railed, I think. 3.8. Yeah, that was the day we completely were green and completely flipped. This looks fine. So getting back to this, there was a million trades in this. I thought Jackie was in the ones from last Friday, which I got out of, but that was really the biggest trade and I didn't hold it. What day was last Friday? Here. Last Friday, I called the 260, 250s that expired today. That was the biggest trade if you held it through yesterday. So I thought you did, Jackie. Anyways, the reason that that was the biggest trade is it went an insane amount, 15 bucks plus through to the number. And I don't remember what time. I called it in the morning. That's right, I called it in the pre-market. So I called this in the pre-market. It opened, dropped. Could have got a great price in it, which I did. But that's why this was a trade you could have got out of on the Friday. Boom. But if you held it into this week, that was the biggest trade, and I got out of it Friday. But it went the fastest, was the biggest, was the lowest strike. I called the 265s, 270s, and 275s. They all worked, and they were all huge trades. And you wouldn't have got out of them anywhere here unless you killed them with a loss, because they were tragically down here. So at one point here on a Monday, in fact, I called the 265s here. I called the 270s and 275s here, I think. Yeah, I called them Friday. I called those Friday. That's right. I called those that day before the Mondays. Anyways, they were all tragically down. Looked like they'd never make it anywhere near anything. But they all worked. And that's the thing about options. They're tricky that way. They're super duper, super duper, super duper tricky. Why? Because you could give up on them completely, be totally down. They could be worth 10 cents. And then they could go and you could be up 200%. And that's why you have to know what to do with them. And here we are, we're in the Oracle. You got out of the 260, 250s Friday as well. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't even know if I would have normally done that, but I did that because I had other strikes and because last week with the market, it whipped my butt. So, you know, to have a nice rally like that on a Friday and book money into the weekend was a positive. Now here we are, we're in the Oracle. If anyone's still in it, it looks good. Anyways, I'll go back to that chart in a minute here if I can get out of this. But the point is, though, getting back to what I was saying, if you don't have conviction in what you're doing with the directional bias, the direction, because that's all that matters, you won't make money going long if something's selling off like hotcakes, and you won't make money shorting if something's rallying like hotcakes. And so that's why we're not short this market. How can you be? It's rallying like hotcakes. Despite the sell-off even we had last week, it's gone. It's as if it never happened. It really never happened. Look at it. It's gone. It was annoying last week when it occurred, but, I mean, it was like it never even happened right now. Look. Wow, this could go even further. Here we go. Oracle, 55 was the low. If anybody's still in it, one more push and we're going to be out of this. Some of you got out of it, which is fine. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, getting back to the Facebook. I still really think that holding is better than anything, and that means you got to cut your risk back. That's what you have to do, because you make more money holding, I think, ultimately. Because if trades don't work, they just flat out don't work. And if they work, you want to be able to get the benefit of the momentum, which if you killed the Facebook at a loss when it was down that Monday, or this past Monday, you missed a huge trade, which may have seemed inconceivable at the time, but not really, because that's the whole process of gaps with what I do. So a gap can fix everything. It can ruin everything, but it also can fix everything, and it can fix it overnight in a millisecond. And that's, that's the beauty of gaps. Now this is going to be annoying here. 55, 58, 62. Look how sloppy this is. Happened to Alta. Oh, Alta kept going. Alta could get to 300. I said screw it. It was a really spready, really big stop, but it's trying to go. It definitely was profit, and it definitely was money. I don't know if this would have been any risk to reward for me. I don't even know if I still would be in it. But it is trying to break, and if it breaks 305, it could very well go to 300. It's still spready though, look. It's almost $1. Here. Well, this definitely isn't a fast trade, but it definitely is working, and we pretty much were up since we took it, so that's a good sign. Monday, I don't know what we get. We have things next week, but I don't know what. I think they're retail, mostly retail next week. Here, Oracle. Was super duper careful today. That worked. We're up. We're careful. It's a good decision. It's Friday. There was not a lot good, and the market's weird. The SPY rallying. With the financials at new highs. You have Apple, which is, selling off all the time and affects the Qs and then drags everything down in that sector. And I mean, it's even though I got out of the Facebook, to see that where that is today, that shouldn't be. That really shouldn't be, to be honest with you. Here, Oracle. Hand to the button in Oracle. One more drop and we're out. 55 was the low. We're almost there. Here we go. This is it for me, though. One more push. This isn't a bad little trade. It's not a bad little trade at all. Come on. If I get out of this here, it's going to go another 50 cents. So I just know it. Just like I got out of it yesterday, it dropped another $1. I don't know why everyone's so excited about bonds. People are not going to put all of their money in bonds. It just doesn't work like that. It makes no sense why people keep talking about bonds and the market's reacting to that. People are not going to sell out all of their equities and stick all their money in bonds. If people want to diversify, they already had money in bonds in the market. It makes no sense. No sense at all. I think it is an overreaction and possibly excuse just to sell off the market for it to flip over and rally again, which is exactly what happened yesterday because we made new highs. And there was buying that came in from Wednesday to Thursday, or you wouldn't have seen that. Here we go. Oracle. Crap, I'm out of this if this doesn't break 50. Save this thing now. Oh, we should look at GME this morning. Here, 51. Here. Takes an hour for 1 penny. This is weird. Here, there it goes. Out. Done. We got it done at 50. That was close enough. Close enough. Close enough. Close enough. Good job. And if you want to still be in it, it's totally your call. That's it. Week done. Let's look at this. It was a nice little trade. Low stress. That's exactly what you want on a Friday. If we had done this, it would have been stressful, even though it worked. What was the other one? This, I just thought too hard about it. But it worked and then had second setup. I might have done the second setup if I hadn't been in the Oracle, but the Oracle was a little nice trade. Crabboy, are you out of it? I'll be done for the week, people. Let's talk about Facebook. Any questions about anything? Let's just look at what else is going on. Let's go over whatchamacallit. Let's go over the Facebook.